Alex Mahon, the person in charge of Channel 4, has said that the Russell Brand allegations are horrendous. That's a reasonable word to use. And she's also said how the industry, the radio, Channel 4, BBC, even things like GB News and Talk TV are platforms where young people hope to perform, they hope to contribute. Why are they going to be drawn into this industry if this industry is so full of predatory individuals who feel that they can do no wrong, who feel that they are utterly protected, and who are surrounded by people who are effectively aiding and abetting them, who are giving them opportunities. And we can think back to Savile. That's an extreme case, but the decisive detail in the Russell Brand story, I think, is the chauffeured car from the BBC being sent to a school to pick up a girl who, in Philip Schofield's words, though legal, was not wise. And I think even listening to Andrew Sachs' granddaughter, it's an uncomfortable listen. And this should be an industry where we are exhibiting the best of our potential across the board, and where we are encouraging new voices and older voices to speak to the nation, where the selection of people who are entering our sitting rooms, living rooms, offices, reflect the selection of people that we are watching them, not only on mainstream media but also on social media. A diversity of views, an exchange of opinions rather than a recitation of slogans and a pussyfooting around ideas. We should be gripping ideas, we should be debating ideas, we should be presenting new cutting edge scenarios and looking at drama, looking at entertainment in the broadest sense of that word. And I think we've ducked that opportunity for so many years because we found formulae that seem to keep the public happy. Those formulae include a lot of cheap television gimmicks, the sofa surfing shows, these shows that are overproduced, the sofa surfing shows, the reality TV shows, and these seem to come at the expense of really good drama and music and musicals. And, television should be a place where we can see things that we can no longer see live. I don't understand why we aren't blessed with a television industry that showcases old musicals that could never be done in the West End again, because too many people are needed to turn up night after night, or because it's become too niche a story, a concept. We should have space for that. We should have space to develop the opera world, the ballet world, the academic world, the things which BBC Two was surely set up to produce, and now BBC Two is just full of quizzes and repeats, and David Attenborough. There's a place for David Attenborough, but not all over the channel. It's as if the only thing BBC Two produces is quizzes and animal shows. There must be more. And Channel 4 is supposed to provoke and surprise us with new and invigorating content, some of which which we may feel raises an eyebrow. But if we don't raise an eyebrow, we can't raise the temperature. We can't do something unusual. And we end up falling into the safe and the formulaic. And from that point of view, I can understand a lot of the appeal of Russell Brand, although Piers Morgan and what's that forgettable man's name? Anyway, Forgettable Man think that Piers Morgan is untalented. Think that Piers Morgan is untalented. Just think that Russell Brand is untalented. Well, in many ways, he's not highly talented, is he? But he's not untalented. And I think it's important to establish, he's got a brain, as did Jimmy Savile. And I think it's really sad when we are simply using the same sort of people again and again and again in our national broadcast. We should be leading the way, and we should be looking at a range of presenters and a range of entertainment. And we're not. We're looking at the same old, again and again and again. And part of that is because shows are overproduced. I remember talking to people about possible shows, and it was always, we want something like this, but different. Even when it comes to reality TV and that sort of formula, I notice it's basically the same show, just slightly modified. Traitors is basically a revamp of The Circle. The Circle is a revamp of Big Brother, slightly more controllable because you've got people in individual rooms, and so on. El Dorado is just EastEnders in Spain. We need to be more creative. We need to be more creative. And I think if we have a message from the Russell Brand saga, that is it. And we must move out, and production must move out, and find more of a revolving door for television and for radio. And radio, there used to be a time when I could switch on Radio 4 and there would be constant new ideas. Now there's constant repeats. Radio 3, much the same. Radio 2, I'm not really a great fan of Radio 2. I don't understand it. I've been on it, but I don't understand it. So if somebody would like to take me by the hand and take me through Radio 2, I am welcome. I'm happy to be instructed. But I think there's so many other things that need to be changed. And meanwhile, I was so happily ensconced in Miriam Margolyes' book and Rory Stewart's book, and I've been distracted from finishing both by all this Russell Brand nonsense. I'm going to get back down to some real reading, and there's and the first of my poetry lessons is coming out possibly this evening, and I've got some real lessons in about 10 minutes. So it's a busy night, as ever, and I should drop a few more videos about what's going on today. The King has been in France, and I think that looks interesting. And Azerbaijan and Armenia have come to a deal, which is a great positive, because that is a conflict which could easily have erupted into something as bad, if not worse, than the situation in Ukraine. But the fact that there is a ceasefire doesn't mean the problem is over.